Good day, friends. Welcome to another lovely Chew and Chat. I'm Ron Rayfield. This is my beautiful co-host slash wife, Justine Rayfield. And this morning, we're having breakfast cake.
We're having breakfast cake. Sounds very healthy, doesn't it? Cake for breakfast. But then you stop and you realize, well, most cereal has as much sugar in it as cake. And then people eat donuts for breakfast, which is just literally yeast cake. So let's just eat cake for breakfast.
You know, it's ironic. They say this is part of a nutritional breakfast.
No, it's a lie.
That's all I heard in those
That's
commercials growing up was it's a nutritional breakfast to eat this cereal that's got 15 different fake chemical food colorings in it and tons of sugar.
Well, they used to think cigarettes were not bad for you, so there's that.
What? Really?
Yes. So this is from the Cook's Dictionary and Housekeeper's Directory, published in 1830. We recreated it exactly as the original receipt told us to. It has currants. It's a yeast-based cake. Mm-hmm. So there's no baking soda, no other leavening agent.
Baking powder.
There's no baking powder. It's yeast. Which nowadays, the only yeast cake that I know of that's really still popular in the United States, at least, is donuts. Yeah, those are technically little tiny yeast cakes.
And they're delicious.
They're absolutely delicious. And I already tried this. Ron hasn't tried it.
Nope.
I'm pleasantly surprised by it.
A little snug.
Little snug, but eating a little too much cake. Yeah, so we're going to get into it. We're going to try it, and we're going to review it for you all.
Alrighty.
I don't think we're going to say grace because this is just a snack.
This is a snack.
This is a snack. We're not actually eating like a full meal. Our meal is cake.
Now, if you eat the whole thing, don't judge me.
Oh, no.
Alright, here I go.
Speaking of eating the whole thing, the original receipt said it's good for 3 months.
That's true.
It keeps for 3 months. I don't think it'll last that long for us to try it out.
It's very good.
It's very good. Well, I'll be.
It's like a giant raisin muffin. Currants taste like raisins to me.
They do kind of taste like raisins.
They're little tiny raisins, basically.
Okay, we have coffee.
It's so fluffy.
Look!
We are joined by a special guest.
Mickey. Who's that? Mish. Let's pour up some coffee.
Oh, good.
Cream,
please.
Yes. I only have a teapot.
You always put the cream in first.
Oh, I see. I'm new to this whole coffee thing. I used to absolutely not drink coffee. I was a tea person.
And then you don't have to start.
That's true. A couple months ago, actually more like, just 2 months ago, I finally got into drinking coffee.
Did you put sugar in it?
No. And the only way I can drink it is if it has a stupid amount of sugar. And if it is a girly coffee, like a
latte, I guess.
Like
a mocha latte.
Flavored coffee. So my favorite is one called German chocolate cake. Absolutely not good for you whatsoever. Now, I still only drink coffee, maybe I'll have like 1 cup every 2 weeks. And even tea, I've really not had so much tea lately. I'm only drinking 1 cup of tea a week now. So I'm not drinking too much caffeine, don't be worried.
What are you doing, buddy? You know, I had my first cup of coffee when I was about 4 years old.
Okay.
Thanks to my grandparents.
You beat me. He doesn't drink his coffee with sugar.
No, I used to, but I don't anymore. I've grown out of that phase.
Oh, this coffee is cold.
See, it's
gotten cold.
It is a beautiful day. Spring has sprung here in Missouri a week ago. Thank you for all the thoughts and prayers. We posted a picture of this cabin. The tornadic storms are coming through, and thankfully, when they arrived to the area, they split, and the whole county was spared from destruction. Unfortunately, other counties south of us, like the next counties below, roofs were taken off of buildings, and I think there were even a few casualties, unfortunately.
Yes.
So very wicked storm, and glad that it spared the cabin.
I can't believe this cabin, no offense, I can't believe it's still standing after everything it's been through.
I mean, it was 75 mile an hour winds. We still got the winds and everything, but we didn't get, it never thundered or lightning though. And it barely rained, it only sprinkled a little
it didn't really rain.
But
So thank you, God, for protecting us in this cabin.
mhm. And our house was okay too. And there was a tornado that happened over the mountain on the other side of our house. I would just say maybe within 10 miles of our house, there was a tornado, our build site.
It's that time of the year. There's a lot of storms in the Midwest, so stay safe out there.
This has become the new tornado alley, unfortunately. It used to be like Kansas, Oklahoma when I was a kid, you know, and now it's like Missouri, Illinois. It's just moving.
Okay, the coffee is not as hot as I like it to be. It isn't cold, I have to admit. It's more like lukewarm.
Mine's steaming.
I don't know how that's possible because mine's not. But it's really good now that I added 3 tablespoons of sugar.
Oh my god.
But it's really good. I really like it. It's very comforting.
Well, let's go back to the cake.
Okay.
I'm chowing down over here. This cake is...
It's good.
I love the texture of it. And since it's currants, not raisins, they're smaller. It's not like a bunch of big chewy bites, you know. Because if it was raisins, you'd be just...
That'd be a lot of raisins.
chewing on it. But believe it or not, we cut this into
quarters.
4. Yeah, into quarters. We divided it by 4. Originally, this thing would have been huge.
That's the biggest cake ever.
And that's why they say it would have lasted 3 months.
Yeah. Okay, why were receipts like so insanely large back then? I mean, it depends on the receipt we're talking about. But for this particular one, usually bake day was once a week in a normal family. Because in the early 1800s, a lot of households had either access to an outside wood-fired oven, or they had what was known as a beehive oven, which is an oven that's built into the wall. To get that thing fired up to temperature, it takes hours of stoking it with firewood. And so you only would have used it once a week for bake day. You could have baked 10 pies that day. Meat pies, vegetable pies was a thing, believe it or not, and then fruit pies. You would have had like 10 pies.
There were even communal bake ovens.
There were.
So once you got it fired up, it's hot for hours.
And so you would have put this along with maybe 3 others of it in there. And that's why the original quantity is just insane. Because it would have been enough breakfast cake to last you for the entire week. Whereas we cut it into a 4th. And, you know, people back then had big families. But not necessarily was it always big families as far as children goes. Because back then, and still in a lot of cultures, it's very normal to be living with your mother, your father, your grandparents, your brothers, your sisters. You would have shared a house because some people couldn't afford their own house.
Right.
So that's why the quantities were just like bizarre by today's. And that's why I have to often cut the recipe in half or in quarters.
Right.
Sometimes more.
Otherwise, it'd just be astronomically
Yeah.
huge. Yeah, lasting 3 months. I mean, there's already a crust on there. 3 months from now, this thing will be solid as a rock.
But the inside is nice and soft.
Well, I guess you could dunk it in your coffee or your milk or something to resaturate it. That's a long time to let something sit on the shelf.
That is a long time.
Now, I don't know if maybe with all the brandy in it, because there's brandy in this, if that kind of helps preserve it, maybe. I'm
It
not
could
sure.
a little. And before anyone asks, yes, I did not put nutmeg in it.
But we did put brandy, and she is pregnant.
Oh, come on. There's like 2 tablespoons of brandy in the entire thing.
It ain't gonna hurt anybody. Women were still, excuse me, drinking and smoking until like
Oh my gosh.
until the 1990s. I turned out fine.
It's okay to bake with it. It's not that big of a deal. I
It ain't like we're shooting it back.
You know, I don't drink personally.
No, we don't drink.
Yeah, Ron doesn't drink either.
I
But
drink coffee though.
yes, okay, so the texture of it is phenomenal.
Yes, the texture
very
gets a
good.
10.
Yeah. Taste wise is very, very good. Not too sweet. Not sweet like you would think a modern cake would. I'd picture it more like a banana nut muffin. Like a muffin, you know, that kind of sweet level. The only thing is, personally, I'm kind of sick and tired of these currants that are in every single cake recipe from this time period.
That's how I feel about the caraway seeds. Thankfully, it's not in this receipt.
I wish instead it was like dried blueberries or
That'd be good.
raspberries or something. Or cranberries. It's like, why is it always currants? I'm sick of currants.
You know, the next time you make muffins, just make them with yeast like this.
I could, yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. The texture is different than when you use a baking powder or whatever you use in modern muffins. It's more like cakey, crumbly then. This holds together so I can be walking about and not drop crumbs. It's almost like the yeast. It glues things together, but yet you still got fluffiness. It doesn't crumble like the baking powder makes things crumble.
It works surprisingly well here.
Yeah, and it doesn't taste like yeast. It doesn't have that funky kind of flavor like if you put too much in it does.
Oh no. It's very good.
I'm giving the taste on this thing an 8.
That's good. That's respectable.
I'd give it higher if it was a little bit sweeter because I love sweets.
Oh, okay.
Obviously. That's why my buttons are. Look at this. This thing's falling apart. You can see the white shirt.
Ron, I'm the one that's supposed to be growing, not you.
Maybe some of it's muscle.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I'm sorry for assuming. I apologize.
I never thought it was fat.
No. Oh, I'm hinting at something so bad, so negative. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, so you're giving this an 8.
Mm-hmm.
I would give it, in a historic context, I'd give it an 8 as well.
Okay.
I think that's very fair. Personally, I'm sick and tired of currants now because they're in every historic cake recipe. If I was to remake this, I would make it exactly like it says, but I would swap these dang currants out for blueberries or raspberries, something. I'm just so tired of these currants, because like Ron said, it kind of has a raisin. They taste like raisins.
Yeah.
So imagine just eating raisin cake over and over and over and
raisin
over.
Nut bread. Where's the nuts?
Yeah, there's no nuts. But
speaking of raspberry, it just jogged my memory.
Oh.
Last weekend, we went to a cooking class at Thornhill at Faust Park, St. Louis. It's the second governor of Missouri's mansion, and it's a really nice place. It's built in the 1820s or slightly sooner, I'm not sure.
Finished in 1820.
But, oh yeah, I think he acquired it in like 1811 or something. But anyways, beautiful place. It's the place that we're actually loosely basing our house off of.
Yeah.
But they had a cooking class there, and we thought, you know what, this would be nice. Let's go attend this. The lady that put it on, we actually ended up knowing her. I'm horrible with names, but when we got there, we're like, oh my gosh, it's this really nice lady. And they had this raspberry shrub there.
Raspberry shrub.
We are gonna make it. We gotta make it.
Okay, what is raspberry shrub? Popular in the early 1800s, it is a raspberry drink.
Mm-hmm.
When I explain it to you, you're gonna turn your nose up and say, what? No! But it is to die for.
Yeah.
It tastes like if you took one of the red Jolly Ranchers, who knows what in the world flavor that is, just red. Red number
Wild
5.
cherry or something, I don't know.
So if you took one of the red Jolly Ranchers and you melted it in a drink of some sort, basically fruit punch Kool-Aid, that's what it tastes like.
I don't have it in front of me. It consists of raspberries, obviously, sugar,
and vinegar.
And vinegar.
And that's it.
Apple cider vinegar.
No.
Just regular.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it's apple cider vinegar,
Okay,
or it's some kind of wine vinegar.
Okay.
But anyways, it sounds disgusting, I know.
It's weird. Vinegar?
Now, I was skeptical when she told us what she was getting ready to serve us. It was blood red, like something a hummingbird would want to eat. It's so red. It's
Hummingbird juice.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that looks good. And then she's like, well, it's got vinegar in it now, but don't smell it. And I'm thinking, man, this is going to be nasty. I like Switchel. It's got vinegar in it too, but I'm thinking raspberries and vinegar. This does not go good together at all.
Oh, and it stinks.
It smelled kind of bad.
It smells like vinegar.
She poured it up. I smelt it. I was like, oh man.
It's straight up vinegar.
But she said, don't smell it. So I said, okay. So I didn't. I brought it up to my mouth and I took a drink without sniffing it, and it was the most tasty drink I've ever had in my life.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, Ron
I'm
had
not lying.
multiple.
I felt ashamed asking for a refill because there was about 8 other people that she was serving it to. I was like, can I have a refill? And can I have another refill and another? But it was so good. So the trick is even with Switchel, I would say, don't sniff it. If you sniff it, you're going to smell the vinegar. If you don't sniff it while you're taking the drink, it's going to taste good. That's the trick. But it's healthy for you, despite the sugar. But we need a little pick-me-up every now and then. But vinegar is good for you.
Yeah, it does something to the pH of your body, but so the way to make it is you have to combine the raspberries, the sugar, and the vinegar in a glass vessel for 2 weeks, so that
At least.
Yes, so that it infuses.
Yeah.
And then it's ready to drink.
That's the down part. You gotta sit there and wait for it to.
Yeah.
Do
So eventually we will make that because Ron is absolutely obsessed.
I'll make it and I'll have one ready to go that's been sitting for 2 weeks already.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Did you drink all your coffee?
No.
Mine's gone.
What was I talking about before I went on that rant with raspberry shrub?
I don't know, but we can talk about the fact that I'm now 27 weeks
That's
along.
right.
Thank you.
So we are in the 3rd trimester now. We got roughly over 3 months till little Ronnie shows up. And boy, we got a lot of work to do. We've been working on the house.
Yeah.
We have started the taping and mudding and the texturing process. We want the walls to look old worldy. Since we want it to look like we came in there and put the little furring strips and plastered all over everything. We didn't. We used drywall. So we're going over the drywall with a bunch of mud and some trials and scrapers and making it look like we...
Fake it till you make it.
Exactly. And our very awesome friends came out and helped us this past weekend, and we've got the bedroom textured. The ceiling's not done yet. I'm saving that for last because the ceiling just ain't going to be fun.
Yeah, because ain't nobody want to do that.
Yeah. And then we got the living room textured.
Mm-hmm.
And then the downstairs flooring is pretty much done. We
Yeah,
gotta stain it still yet.
Yep, it's all square-headed nails that we're using, so each one has to be individually hammered because there's no nail gun that can fire these kind of nails.
And we got a pre-drill and countersink because we're working with dried wood from the store, if you will. Back then, you would have had wetter wood because it would come from the mill, and you could just drive a nail in it, and it probably wouldn't split on you.
So there are creative ways to get around building a historic-looking house in the 21st century while going literally to Lowe's and our Home Depot and picking up the stuff to do it. Now, the nails were special order, of course.
Yeah.
They're from a company in Massachusetts, I think, that's been making square-headed nails since 1811.
Definitely the first or second decade of the 1800s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been in business since.
But we're making it work. And yeah, we have quite a lot of pressure on us because, let me show you why.
Yes. He better not come early either.
Yeah.
We need all the time. He can be a week late, please.
This is my baby Bump. At the moment, he's kicking all the time now. All the time. I feel absolutely fantastic. I cannot complain. I feel very, very good.
Yeah, you're doing your normal activities. The only thing that's hard now is like tying shoes, obviously.
And getting out of bed.
Getting out of bed and staying away from sweets, staying away from the chocolates.
Yeah, that's
Tell them what you did the other day.
Okay, so my vice...
Admit your shame.
My vice, and it has always been my vice, is chocolate-covered almonds.
She bought a container of chocolate-covered almonds at Aldi or something like that.
Dark chocolate.
And so, ate some of them. Okay, whatever. Ate some more. Okay, don't go crazy. Well, anyways, I come home the next day. There's a sticky note inside this empty container with a sad face drawn on it. Because you ate all the chocolate-covered almonds.
I felt so guilty. I did not feel good after that. But I told Ron I had to do it because I have to get rid of them somehow, or else I'll keep on eating them forever. That doesn't even make any logical sense, does it? But yeah, that is my vice. Okay, I will admit I'm not perfect. I've been eating way too much sugar lately. I need to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really need to stop. I know it's not healthy to be eating this much sugar.
That's why he's always kicking. He's all sugared up.
Yeah. But I feel guilty because for some reason lately I'm craving sugar. Like I'm craving chocolate and cake.
Maybe there's something in chocolate that you crave besides the sugar. I don't know.
There's iron in chocolate.
Maybe it's iron.
Yeah, I don't know.
Eating some liver.
No, you're not supposed to actually eat liver while you're pregnant.
Too much iron.
Because it has too much vitamin A. You can eat it once in a while, you know, but... So, I don't know, I've been craving sugar like insane, and I'm trying to eat a lot of fruit, but that's not cutting it. I feel very, very guilty. So, I need to... As we're sitting here eating cake...
But it's not a sweet cake.
No.
Iced.
Plus, I'm done. I don't want to eat anymore.
I would call this a coffee cake.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a coffee cake. So the pressure is on. We are hoping that we can move into this house in May. And I'm not going to tell you guys my birth plan, like really in detail, because it's just personal. But I will tell you, we are, hope to God, we're going to have a home birth. For a bunch of different reasons. Hospitals give me anxiety like crazy. Absolutely hate going to hospitals.
And they treat you like cattle.
And they treat you like you're a number. So I don't want to deal with that. So our goal is to have a home birth, which puts even more pressure on, okay, this house has to be livable. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be done.
Right.
It's going to be livable by May. And that means we have, what, 2 months?
Yeah, we got 2 months.
We got 2 months. We have a housewarming party coming up in May.
We wanna be in there before he arrives, so we can at least get settled, I guess. I mean, it's gonna be a while before we get settled. It's a new house, and it ain't gonna be done for a while. But we can at least get a routine, kind of.
Yeah. So the pressure is on. It's above and beyond regular pressure for building and moving into a house, I'd say. But we're managing it, and. You know, maybe the pressure is good in a way because it's finally motivating us to do the final push to get this thing done.
I hate procrastinating, but whenever the feet is put to my fire, I usually...
No, the fire is put to your feet.
My feet are put to the fire. All right, when the fire is put to my feet, I go.
Yeah, exactly. Same here. Yeah. Same here.
And that's one of the reasons why we're putting a video out every other week. That allows us an entire week to work out there nonstop, and it's helping a lot.
It is helping a lot.
And even after this video goes out, we're still gonna go out there and get something done because we'll still have half a day or whatever till the sun goes down now. But which is a good thing about this time of year. It's not hot yet, but the sun it ain't getting dark until 7:30. So that's a couple extra hours. We get out there at 4 o'clock. That gives us roughly 4 hours to get something done.
Right. And once we move into it, I think we'll get the work done even faster.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Actually, I know so.
Yeah.
Speaking of work, this is a little teaser. It's not loaded. I'm not pointing at you. You're back here. Here's where it's pointing.
Thank you.
She's back there, so it's safe. I know it doesn't look like it on TV, but it's fine. This is one of our good buddies' pistols. There's something wrong with it. I'm not sure yet what it is, but it's gonna be that's the members video here on Frontier Patriot, and we're gonna go through it together. So so if you're into watching stuff like that and you're a member, keep a lookout for that. It'll be I'll be in my shop and we'll try to diagnose what's wrong with this thing.
Yeah, so your friend gave it to you saying, look man, I have no clue what's wrong with this thing, can you fix it?
Yeah.
Because Ron does that. He fixes guns. Attempts to fix guns for friends and family.
I know it doesn't spark, and there's something wrong with the trigger. And we'll have to dive in and see what's wrong with it. That's going to be for a members video.
Okay.
Yeah, so looking forward to doing that.
I'm curious too what's the matter with it because you have the exact same model.
I have the exact same gun.
And it has the exact same problem.
It does. I've never looked into it. I've just kind of just went with it. So...
What is going on?
Okay. I don't know.
He's gonna we'll figure it out.
All right, what's next on our list? All right, we have weird history fact.
We have a weird history fact. This one gave me the heebie-jeebies a little bit.
This one's pretty weird.
It's pretty weird. Okay, we'll get into it. This week's weird history fact. Go.
Thank you. All right, this week's weird history fact is the fact that in the early 1800s all the way up to about 1850 at least, there were cradles for grown adults.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Like
80-year-old men.
80-year-old women.
Yeah.
Adults. But it was specific adults. There were adults who had emotional distress, or they were mentally challenged in some way. Or physically challenged. They could not move. I could see how it could benefit older people because you wouldn't roll out of bed. There was one account of this elderly lady who rolled out of bed and broke her ankle or her leg, something like that. So they put her in a cradle so she couldn't roll out of bed anymore.
Back then the word was invalid.
Invalid? When you couldn't move?
It describes a type of person who is either physically or mentally handicapped to the point where they have to rely on other people to care for them.
Sounds like dementia.
these cradles were usually for old people. Usually. Yeah, so they were for the elderly who could no longer walk, and often they had dementia, and is basically hospice care by that point. So these really creepy looking cradles.
It's just weird though with an adult being in a cradle.
Yeah.
It looks like a convertible casket. Or it's just weird because it's a cradle for a baby.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it, so it comes off weird. The other weird thing is, I don't want to say they were the only people to do it, but the majority of it was in Shaker communities. Mm-hmm. And they are known for having old people in their community because they do not, what's the word? Reproduce. They do not reproduce. And yeah, that's weird. I'm sorry.
We have feelings about Shakers.
Yeah,
they're weird.
Well, I'm not going to offend anybody because there's only 2 of them still left in the United States, at least.
You've just offended them.
I don't think they watch. They're probably 100 years old. Now, they are similar to the Quakers. Quakers don't live in a closed-off community. Quakers are also pacifists, which are the Shakers as well, but Quakers reproduce, and Shakers do not. Now, the Shakers come from the Quaker denomination is the word, I think. And so the Quakers started in the 17th century, and by the 1740s, about mid-18th century, is when the Shakers come into play. They come off of the Quakers and start their own thing. Now, some good things about them, or cool things I should say, is they're excellent craftsmen.
Oh, yes.
They're great farmers. They're great at farming and innovating. But their houses are painted. They love beautiful colors.
Simplicity, though.
Simplicity, but things are very beautiful.
Yes. So Shakers, I think, is some kind of sect of Christianity. I don't even know how to describe it, really. It's not really a sect of Christianity.
And I'm not bad-mouthing Christians. We are Christians.
Oh, yeah.
But there's some people that are out there. They don't believe in... They don't believe in having children or anything.
Yeah, Shakers was a thing in the 1800s. It's since died out. Used to be a very big thing in the United States, but the catch is if you wanted to be a Shaker, you could not reproduce.
So that's why they died out.
Yes.
What do you think was going to happen?
Yeah, so they were very strict about it. You could not have children. And that meant that a lot of their population was comprised of taking care of the elderly.
Yeah.
And, part of them, they believed, they were very pacifist people. They didn't believe in war, violence, or anything like that. And they also believed in taking care of people.
Yeah, which is nice.
Which is nice. But, man, these cradles are creepy.
Yeah,
they're just creepy.
Strange.
It is strange. It's like a coffin that you can rock.
It's a convertible coffin. If the elderly person should pass away while they're in the cradle, just bring the lid in, hammer it down, okay, then carry it out.
That's true. Yeah.
It's not a bad idea. When I get to be about 85 years old, I'll build me one. I'll start sleeping in it. And if I die in my sleep, okay, bring the lid in, hammer the nails in.
I can't imagine going into my living room and seeing a full-grown man laying in a 7-foot-long coffin. Cradle. I'm sorry, but okay, Daniel Boone, who's
my uncle.
His great
Your uncle-in-law.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, that makes me feel cool, actually. He was known for, in his old age, he had a coffin upstairs in his son's house, which is where he spent his final years. And so he would sleep in that coffin. And sometimes kids would go up there in the attic not knowing he was in the coffin, and he would jump out and scare him. I wonder, he said he was doing it to make sure it was comfortable and to test it out. Okay, I can respect that. I almost wonder if he would sleep in it just in case he did happen to die.
Maybe.
Because he knew his time was near. So he thought, well, I'll just make it easy for everyone and just sleep in the coffin from now on.
That, or maybe it's cozy. I don't know. You're snug in there. Maybe it's cozy. I don't know. I don't really want to know.
Not those old pine coffins with no cushion or nothing. Oh my god.
Put you some straw in there.
That is so... It's just disturbing to me. I don't know why when I came across these adult cradles, it really gave me the heebie-jeebies. It was like 1800s hospice care, hospice beds. They thought that if you were rocking back and forth, it was less likely to give you bed sores as opposed to an old person just laying in a bed for the last 2 years of their life. But yeah,
just very weird.
Yeah, can you imagine, like, I'm just gonna say something random, so don't say it personal, but like your elderly mother or your elderly grandma or grandpa being in your living room in one of these in their final years, and you rock it for them all day.
When you put it like that, it doesn't sound so weird, but it's
Really?
out of context. It's guess it's weird. I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't been in that situation.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of these original cradles that still exist.
Yeah, they're really big.
Yeah, they're very big and they're very creepy. So.
Now we know when we see a large cradle that you can fit like 3 babies in, we'll know it's one of those.
Yeah,
ones for adults. I think I've seen one before.
Invalid
and I just thought, wow, that's a really big cradle.
Oh, that's so creepy.
Hey, I got a quick update for you guys. The first weekend of April is the Colonial Market Fair happening over at Fort Deschard. It's right across the river from St. Genevieve. Be sure to check it out. There's really awesome artisans and craftsmen coming, and this is a juried event, so it's the best of the best when it comes to people who are making stuff. So that's Fort Deschard, the first weekend of April. Definitely check it out. It's going to be a great time.
Be there or be square.
Be there or be square. Don't be a circle.
No.
And definitely not a triangle.
Oh, no.
Straight line, sure.
Okay, so now we're going to jump into this week's cool history facts. Good enough. You know what that sounds like? It sounds like a horse walking. And that relates to this week's cool history fact. It's about a horse, one horse in particular.
Yep.
His name was Old Billy.
Old Billy.
You gotta spell it as an O-L apostrophe Billy. Old Billy. That's how we talk around here. Except this horse was actually from England. Okay, so your dad is very big into horses.
Oh yeah, we've got like 30-something horses.
Yeah. So you tell me, what is the longest living horse that you've seen personally?
I'm going to get the number wrong, but I'll just say 35. It might be 34 and a half or 35 and a half, but about 35 years is the typical age for a horse.
Yeah.
In my experience.
Yeah. Okay. So horses on average live 25 to 30 years. Now that's just the average. Like Ron said, sometimes you'll get one that lives to be 33, even 35.
Just depends on the health of them, what you're feeding them, what you're, what are they doing and what's their living condition.
Yeah.
If they're left out in the field, or are they stuck in a stall, are they just eating grass, are they eating healthy grains as well,
Now, Old Billy, he lived to be 62 years old.
That is a record, I believe.
That is still to this day, 200 years later, the record for the longest living horse to have ever lived ever. He was born in 1760. He died in 1822. Old Billy.
Old Billy.
So he was foaled at Wilgrave Farm in Woolston, which is located in England, in 1760. He was originally bred and taught to be a plow horse. No one knows for sure what breed he was, but they said he looked like he was a combination between a cob and a Shire horse. He was brown with a white blaze on his head. So at first he was just like any other horse. No one thought anything. He ate a regular diet. He ate oats and bread, which horse bread is a thing.
Yes.
It is a thing. It's not very good for humans. It's dry and nasty, but yeah. So in 1763, a company called Mercy and Irwell Navigation bought Billy and used the horse to lift heavy loads into and out of boats and to pull other horse-powered machinery. So his whole life he was a working horse. He was not a leisurely...
He wasn't a riding horse, a saddle horse.
No, he was not a saddle horse. He became quickly renowned for his stamina, but he did have a very angry, volatile temper when he was hungry. Relatable.
Sounds like me.
Where's my bread? He worked for the company later, pulling boats or barges up and down a river called the Mersey River.
Now, how that works is there's a shore that is relatively flat and nice to where the horse can go along the shore with a rope pulling a barge, usually upstream. Downstream, you don't need to because you'll just go with the flow, but upstream, they use animals to pull them up. It's pretty cool.
So he was pulling the boats up this river from 1793 until finally he retired in 1819.
Wow, so he was 50-something years old at that point.
Yeah, so he died in 1822, and he didn't retire until 1819. So he really worked his entire life.
That's a good horse.
That is an amazing horse.
You know what that tells me? It doesn't tell me that horse was abused. It tells me that horse was taken care of. And obviously something in his bloodlines, whatever he come from, they had good genetics, but you got to take care of your horse too. You got to take care of their feet. Their hoof health is very important.
Yeah, it is.
You would think, oh, it's just their foot. How can it affect the rest of their body? Well, it does. They stand on their feet all the time, so it's very important. So they definitely took care of this horse for him to still be working and to make it to that age. It's crazy to think about.
He literally lived double his life expectancy.
Yeah, double. And he was working double his life expectancy.
So, like, let's say...
most horses, you would retire them about 25, like a saddle horse. We have horses that go into their 30s, like I said, but we don't really ride them once they hit about 30, depending on how they're looking, how they're doing. You know, some you might quit sooner, and some you might ride a little bit, but you won't go far with them. You won't take them on a 20-mile trail ride when they're over 30. They just can't do it, especially during the summertime. But this is very impressive.
It is. I mean, imagine, okay, human context. Let's just say your life expectancy is 70 years old.
That sucks.
I'm just saying.
70.
Now double it. You live to be 140 years old.
Now I'm talking.
That is the which no one, I mean, whatever. But anyway, like, that is the equivalent of this horse living double his life expectancy. And as he got older, he became a tourist attraction. When he was alive, he was painted multiple times. But when he died, he was taxidermied.
Yes, but just the head.
Yeah, just the head. And only because he was old. Like the oldest horse ever. So his taxidermied head is still on display today, 200 years later, in the Bedford Museum in England, while his skull is separately displayed at the Manchester Museum.
Oh, really?
Yep. So his head is just the
skin.
Fur. Yeah, it's just the skin, whereas his skull is out on display at another museum.
I see.
He died in Liverpool, England, by the way. So
Billy.
That's very interesting, like the oldest horse ever to live, early 1800s, and the record still has not been beaten to this day. And he was just some random old, nothing special, not a thoroughbred, not kept by a really rich person in some fancy stall, some poor
He made it
old
through
horse.
three wars. The American Revolution, the French Revolution, which happened over there in Europe, so he was over there in Europe, and the War of 1812, which took place over there as well.
Yeah, you're right.
Good for him.
He was so famous when he was older that he was paraded in a coronation of a king.
That's cool.
In the early 1800s. I don't remember what king it was.
So it'd be George IV.
That's right. So this horse that wasn't known for anything except just living a really long life.
Of labor.
I mean, he was a beautiful horse, but he wasn't...
Like me.
Yeah, but he wasn't like a showbred horse that would normally be in something like that. So that is this week's coolest history fact.
Yeah, that's a cool fact. That might be the coolest, actually.
Oh, thank you.
Because he lived so long.
It's so cool that it almost completely erased your memory of those creepy cradles.
Well, now you just brought it
back. Now
it's
back.
You just brought it back.
So I just brought it back.
Thanks a lot.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Yo, I want to do a video one of these days on horses in early America. There are some famous horses in America. Some of the breeds that we're familiar with today originated in America. The American Quarter Horse.
As the name suggests.
Which comes from a European thoroughbred and also comes from a Spanish Mustang, I believe. Those are the main two that give you the American quarter horse. But I don't know. I want to do some shots of horses and riding the horses and talk about them. That'd be cool. I've been wanting to do that for a while, and I'm gonna make it happen this year.
You want horses one day?
I'm gonna make it happen. My goal is to pull a carriage in St. Genevieve.
Oh yeah, I've heard this story many times.
They used to do it 30, 35, 40 years ago, and all throughout the 80s and stuff, and early 90s in St. Genevieve. And that's what the little historic town needs. It needs that. But I'm so sick of these dang Victorian guys coming in with these Cinderella carriages and top hats, or these cowboy gunslingers coming in with their Wells Fargo stagecoach with their cowboy and their bandanas. The town is from 1735. It's 18th century town. That's what it is known for. So you need a guy like you see at Williamsburg with the damn tricorn on, pulling the carriage down the road. That's my goal.
Yeah, Ron has told me this many times. Okay, so we have a long and very random resume of jobs that we have done in our lives.
And jobs we want to do.
I have cleaned many fish heads out of trash cans at fishing spots. I'm not going to get into that, but we have had you used to be a farm hand on a corn farm. Oh no, it was wheat.
It was corn.
It was corn. Okay,
we harvest corn.
But anyway, we have like the longest, like most random resume of jobs that we've done in our life. And so we know realistically, YouTube is probably not going to last forever. I mean, when we are old farts, we need a retirement plan. So Ron's retirement plan is he wants to drive coaches for tourists. Basically,
well, I want to do something that I enjoy too. I'm not going to do it to get rich.
No, of course not.
That's what the wedding people are for. But
yeah, you won't get rich off of doing this.
No. Might cost you money.
Yeah, so that is his long-term goal, is to do that. And so I'm hoping one day that we can get horses at our new property. Mm-hmm. And I want
We'll have to build another barn.
Yeah, and
which ain't happening anytime soon.
I want a mule. Can I have a mule?
You want a donkey too. You can only have one.
Oh.
One or the other.
Maybe I'll do a mule then. Mules are an American tradition.
Yes, they are. George Washington is known as the father of the American mule. He bred more mules than anybody.
The state animal of Missouri is a mule.
Is it really?
It is really.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I have to have one. I love mules.
I'm a horse guy. Mule. I can respect a mule, but I'm a horse guy. I don't want to ride. You don't ride a mule.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, if you're some beggar.
Well, who do you think you're talking to? Why do you think I'm here right now?
Oh,
okay, I think we're going to sign off now. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this week's Chew and Chat.
Yes, thank you, guys.
Very good cake. We gave it a solid 8 out of 10. It's from 1830.
Please make it. And if you haven't already, please go over to Early American to watch Justine make this delicious cake. Over there, we make it.
And here we eat it.
Here we ate it.
We came, we saw, we semi-conquered.
I would have ate more. We already ate other food too, so I can only eat so much. My buttons are about to pop.
My belly button's about to pop. I show you guys, but that's too graphic. Okay.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time. Take care.
We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.